We have a bet going. Who likes who's most? Old versus new. What is going on, guys? So, as you can see behind me, I have a 2002 WRX and a 2022 WRX. That's 20 years apart. Is older better or is new always better? Let's check that out and let's see what happens. So the biggest thing that you guys are going to obviously notice and everybody's been flaming about is the new one looks way different than the old one. All the WRXs all have their own things. They're all different, and just like everybody else, everybody flames the Bug Eye as like the worst looking one of all time. I actually love the Bug Eye, and this is now the worst of all time, and I absolutely love the look of the front end of this. Which one do you guys like? Let's take a look a little more in depth. The biggest, hugest, absolutely biggest difference you can see, there's no more hatch. And that has been a huge thing since 2015. There has not been a hatch WRX in the United States for the last 7 years. My first WRX was a sedan, and I really wish I had the hatch. The extra room in there, and frankly, it looks a little cooler. The 2002 WRX, all the way up to the 2014 WRX, all had the EJ platform engine, whereas the 2015 to 2022 had the new FA engine. So the 2002 WRX has the 2-liter boxer engine pushing out 227 horsepower. That's nothing to sneeze at. That's actually that's a pretty high number, especially in 2002, and that's a wagon. Now, over time, obviously, that 227 horsepower started being a little bit less impressive. You had some of these newer cars that are starting to come out, like the Toyota Camry now is pushing out 300 horsepower. At the technology at the time, this was top notch. Now, the new one also is going to be a boxer engine. This is also a 2.4-liter engine pushing out 271 horsepower. This has obviously a little bit larger of an engine, but it also has a twin-scroll turbo in there, so you have power all the way through the power band, whereas the old one, you have to wait for that turbo. It's also called the turbo lag. The butt dyno, the turbo lag is fun. You start spooling it up, it kicks you in the pants, and you start going. Whereas it's now kind of underwhelming. It acts more like a V8 than it does really a 4-cylinder that's turbocharged, which some people say makes it feel really slow, but of actual numbers, this one is it is faster. So there were unconfirmed reports of my 2002 WRX with somebody else driving it, getting it up to 136 miles an hour on a closed course. Okay, I admit, that was me. And I was young and dumb. The old one is limited at 140 miles an hour. The new one is supposed to be limited at 155 miles an hour. Will I be getting this one up there? Not likely. I'm not young and dumb anymore, and I'll probably play it a lot more safe. Jumping into 2002 WRX gives me a huge, huge throwback to my 2002 WRX. And honestly, I miss it so much. The simplicity in here is awesome. I love it. There's not a lot of stuff. The new one has everything is integrated into the touchscreen in the front. Honestly, I am not a fan of that. I like to have the physical manual controls for everything. I like the mechanical feel of the older car a lot better. And here you got the side bolstering seats that hug you. That hasn't changed in all the WRXs throughout all the years, which is, I absolutely love that from Subaru. They kept that in here. You're in more of like a driver's car versus a luxury car when it comes to that aspect. So the interior of the two cars seems very, very similar. You got the awesome bolstering on both sides. You kind of get the same feel of the WRX. And you have a lot of open spaces and very, very little blind spots throughout the entire car, which is a huge plus that they fixed over the years as they went on. Along with the interior here, you got all the technology in the 2022. You have the big old gigantic, like all cars are going to a big old display showing everything on there. So I'm guessing at this point you're exhausted from hearing what I have to say. So before I start driving it, tell you how I feel, we're going to talk about exactly that, the exhaust, what it sounds like. Now, with the EJ engines and the 2002 and all the way up to the 2014 WRXs and then the STIs, you get that deep boxer rumble. However, the sound is different. Me personally, I think the EJ motor and the unequal length headers has that Subaru rumble, and I like that a lot better. So if my car could sound like this car, I would be perfect. The FA engine doesn't sound as deep and rumbly. Granted, it does have a little bit of rumble. It's not deep rumble like the old ones do. So one biggest question is, how does this feel different to drive? Jump back in here. It is a huge throwback nostalgia. Major difference between the two. This is all mechanical. On the newer one, the clutch is electronic, gas is electronic. The steering, that's still mechanical. There's so much of a difference between the two that this feels like rudimentary in a good way. You're not relying on computer for you to push pedal and it does something. It's all mechanical, and I absolutely love that feel. Like, I feel every single bump in the road, and it's predictable. And honestly, I actually miss this feel in my car. So the feeling of the turbo spooling up and kicking in, that's I miss that. I miss the feel of that turbo lag, and it sounds crazy, but I really do. Mine doesn't have that. So jumping back into my car after driving the other one, it's right away the big difference between the electronic clutch, electronic gas, versus the mechanical version. Definitely a little getting used to, a little bit different, which is good and bad. If you're gonna be using this as a commuting car and you're gonna be driving to and from work in traffic, this is gonna be hands down a lot better for that. It is so comfortable in here. Go around corners, you still get that all-wheel drive system that Subaru has been put out for decades now. And the bumps smooth out quite a bit. We're hitting the same bumps as we did in the other one, and they're a lot less bumpy. They're a lot less harsh. So the twin scroll turbo eliminates the turbo lag. Honestly, is underwhelming. For anybody that wants to jump in here and feel how quick it is, that turbo, like, kicking in and kicking you back in your seat, it's not really there anymore. It just pulls straight through. Don't get me wrong, it is still fun. Puts a smile on my face every single time. And again, for a drivability standpoint, it is a lot smoother, a lot quicker, and it feels more refined. And I keep using that word, refined. I'm not saying the other one is bad by any means. It is a great, fantastic car, and I kind of want to buy one and turn it into a rally rig, but the wife will kill me if I borrow another vehicle, except that bus, which you might want to hit that subscribe button because I have ideas to make a toy hauler bus. So, biggest question is, which of the two are better? Is newer better, or is older better? That is something that you're gonna have to decide from watching this video. Which one do you like better? Do you like the looks of the new one? Do you like the looks of the old one? Do you like the sound of the old one versus the new one? Do you like the instant turbo versus the turbo lag? But like that excitement of the turbo kicking in? It's a tough one. If I was to, gun to my head, I have to choose one. Unfortunately, I would still choose the brand new one. I also want to give a big shout out to Jason for letting me drive his car. He just got this, what, a week ago?
A week ago today, pretty much.
You guys have probably already seen him already. He's been in the Jeep side of the channel quite a bit in his big old green Jeep.
Older's better, right?
Yeah, all right, woo! He likes the old one better. If you're with me, you like the new one, or do you like the old one like Jason? Let us know. We have a bet going. Who likes whose most? Old versus new.
How many votes we can get?
How many votes? Let us know in the comments below, and loser has to buy dinner.
You're buying.
Make it so I don't have to buy. All right, see you guys later. That is stupid. I'm not going to put that in there. Bloopers! And make sure mine's locked. At the Dan Pratt Memorial Teen Center, Chris Pratt's father actually runs this Boys and Girls Club here in the city that I run. In the city that I live in, which is kind of cool. Yeah. What do you like more about the old one versus the new one? That's backwards. Old one versus the new one. Is it on this time?
Yeah, it's on this time.
Car.